Hello everyone, and welcome back. My name is LimBryn, and this is Minecraft 1.16 Survival. In the last episode, we built this amazing trading hall and filled it with quite a lot of villagers, and I said I was going to decorate this in this episode, but to be honest, I'm a little tired of working on this. I've been working on it for a solid 2 weeks now, so I kind of want to do something else. And that something else is a little to-do list that I've made for myself in the Nether. The first item on that being this gold farm. It's quite efficient. It makes an absurd amount of gold, as you can see by that. But you can also see there's quite a lot of items on the ground. Like, more than is really acceptable for a farm that could be 100% lossless. So that is what we're going to start off doing. We're going to fix this because it's not actually a very hard fix. I just have never done it for some reason. So before we can fix it, we kind of have to assess what exactly the problem is. And you may have kind of noticed that there's almost like a ring of items around here, as well as some that are kind of just like in here. And the way that this storage system works is the farm way up here, it just kind of throws items out with those droppers onto this conveyor belt, and it's pretty good at doing that. Most of the items do end up landing here. You sometimes get a couple on the edge up here or over here, but mostly they land in the conveyor belt. The problem happens when they actually go through the conveyor belt. They occasionally just get kind of launched out and onto the floor as opposed to into the hoppers and the actual collection system here. So the first step to fixing it is to get rid of the old system. And now that it's gone, what exactly do we replace the conveyor belt with? Well, the first thing is starts with the system up here. You see, this system puts all of the items in this kind of big area, right? This kind of loosely contains them. It doesn't actually fully contain them, which is a little bit of a problem. So first, we get rid of this ring, replace it with stuff that makes it so the items can only go into 4 separate little 1x1 holes. And luckily, there's a very easy way to do this. And that is with cobwebs, because if you put a cobweb under a dropper that's firing downwards, it won't actually spread, the items won't spread out at all. They all fall in the exact same block, which is very cool. So now we just have 4 singular points of interest as opposed to quite a lot. I can get rid of this terrible looking ring of glass. So I guess the next step is to get these 4 points centralized into one thing that pushes them along this line of hoppers so we can actually sort the items. And that is exactly what I've done. I'm probably not going to be able to fly up there like that, so I should try and do it the smart way. But pretty much what I've added is there's a little redstone clock going all the way around the outside of it, and these little pusher thingies on each of the 4 points, and they push it into this glass pane so that they all fall down onto that piece of grind obsidian. Then this thing pushes it against the honey blocks, and then the final one pushes it along the hoppers, pushing it across every single one, and then just barely it manages to reach and push the excess into the lava. But of course, I could have built this wrong, so we need to test it. The way I'm going to test it is a very intelligent thing. I need golden nuggets for it, though, so I have to go back down and grab those real quick. There we go. I suppose I should grab 4 stacks, 1 for each of the 4 droppers. If it would let me fly, that would be quite nice. So, in theory, if I put, we're just going to test 1 to start off with. I'll test the rest off camera. So, we put a stack of golden nuggets in there. It starts to dispense them. Nothing really is going to happen because they're being dispensed into the cobweb. But then, eventually, if we look up there, you can kind of see it right in that cobweb. They'll eventually fall all the way down and into the collection system. And this is why the spyglass is in the game. Look way up there, with Optifine Zoom, you can see the nuggets. It looks like, yep, they're falling. So, they land right there, pushed into the middle there, and it looks like they got pushed across. They did. Sweet. Now I just have to go round and test the other 3. And it would appear that all of them do in fact work. I just put the rest of the nuggets in, and these chests are all kinda filling up, so I guess that is item number 1 on the to-do list complete, although I do want to AFK overnight at this thing before I fully say it's done, so let's do that. Well, that didn't work, so I haven't even AFK'd overnight. It's been like 5 minutes. But I did a little bit of a test where I was just going to kind of go up there, and then I came back down, make sure the system was working. It's not. So I do believe I know exactly what happened here. If I get up here and turn on hitboxes, you'll notice that these items are 1 pixel on the ice and 3 pixels on the hoppers, what it looks like. And I believe, don't quote me on this, that they have to be on majority on the ice to get the slidey effect of the ice. Now, majority in this case is 2 pixels or more, or 50%. So I have to modify my design a little. I'm currently using honey blocks, which are just 1 pixel shy of being a full block. But if I use sea pickles, then that should fix the problem. The only thing is, I don't know if it will actually hit the sea pickle. I think it will, but I'm not 100%. But it's worth a try, so I'm gonna go test that before I put it in. Well, it turns out sea pickles don't actually work. They need a block underneath them to exist. They are the perfect size, but they need a block underneath them to exist, which is a little bit of a problem here, because I was thinking what blocks could I put a sea pickle on, because the block needs to be smaller than the thing itself, so the glass pane is the obvious option, and this happens with the glass pane. This, of course, ends up breaking the sea pickle, so I was a little bit down on what I was going to do, and then I had the brilliant idea, what about dripstone? And dripstone is actually the perfect size if it's oriented correctly, but this one isn't. That's just pure luck that doesn't work. I was very upset at this point, and by the way, all this footage corrupted, which is why I'm doing it after the fact, so I thought about, what about amethyst clusters? They're a perfect size, but the things go under them. And then it hit me, the best idea I've ever had, put an amethyst cluster on a brewing stand. Brewing stands are immovable because they could hold stuff, and amethyst cluster's perfect size, and then I realized, I'm an idiot, you can't put an amethyst cluster on a brewing stand. But then I was just kind of, gallivanting around my base, and I saw an anvil, which is the perfect size. Look at that. It's perfect. And you can put it on a brewing stand. So this is the perfect solution to the problem, is an anvil on top of a brewing stand. Now, to be fair, I could do an anvil on top of a button, but that's not as fun. So, an anvil on top of a brewing stand should work. I haven't actually tested this yet, and it's kind of worrying me that I haven't, because it still might not work. But now I'm going to test it. I just have to successfully fly up, choose what I'm going to put in. We'll put in these 2 crimson planks, I suppose, and they're just going to get trashed, but that's okay. If we fall down here, get into this thing, actually I'll put some gold swords and 2 crimson planks, and then we go all the way down here. They should land on that one, fall down, and be perfectly aligned by an anvil on top of a brewing stand. Oh, there they are. Okay. God damn it! No! No! It doesn't work! They get hung up on the ledge. Okay, I can fix this. I can make... Now it's a matter of making an anvil on top of a brewing stand the solution to my redstone problem. So, if I delay this one more... No, delay this one more, so that when things fall on it... This is going to be difficult, but I think I can do it. Okay, I've added a repeater here. It might work now. This is slowed down. The idea is that the items will have enough time to fall to the bottom, so they'll hit the base of the anvil on top of the brewing stand, as opposed to kind of the midsection of the anvil where they get stuck. So now, I just go put some more items in these droppers, and we test it again. Okay, I'm adding more delay to it because I'm paranoid. That should be better. I think the items, yep, they're falling. They land here, they get pushed. It works! I made the anvil on a brewing stand work. I think this is actually the only solution to the problem, which makes me insanely happy. I mean, yes, there's other blocks that could go instead of the brewing stand, but the anvil is really the MVP. Okay, now this should actually be functional. I'm gonna go AFK overnight, I guess. You know, assuming it works, and if it doesn't, then this message is gonna be included, because it's just gonna cut to it not working. Well, that was one very successful overnight AFK session. I fly down from there like I've just gotten back to my computer, but in reality, I have already done some work. I compressed all the gold. It's a bit. I think that the first 2 rows, maybe the first 3, are how much I had before last night, and now I have a lot more. I don't need this much gold, really, but like, you know, having gold is fun. Now, I did find one problem, and that is when I came back, there were a couple piglins just kind of around, or zombified piglins, and there was one on top of this block. This block has since been spawn-proofed with a button, and the other block that is spawnable is when that piston is retracted, they can spawn on top of this block, which I couldn't really find a way to fix, actually. So I've just left it. It was like 4 zombified piglins, so I don't really care that much. Otherwise, it worked very well. I have 585 levels now, a ton of gold, and now we can move on to the next thing on the to-do list, which is actually kind of related to this. You see, I have all this gold now, and I've been thinking, what am I going to do with it? And if we fly right over here, it's actually not the shortest flight, we get to the Piglin Bartering system, and this thing, it works pretty well. I believe I have 6 piglins in here, and it has produced me a very large amount of items. As you can see, it has also a quite large system, but you know, it gets me like Cried Obsidian, which I need for my base, and leather, which is just really nice, as well as an insane amount of gravel and soul sand as well. Right, it's an all-around very useful farm. Used to get me netherite hose, doesn't anymore, sadly. But it's a little outdated. This thing was made like maybe even before 1.16 fully came out. I think it was probably after it came out, but either way, it's old. So we're going to be updating this thing to a new design, and also making the storage system a lot better, because currently it is a 2.5 item a second storage system because it uses hoppers. So I do already have a design, so I'm going to wait for this thing to empty out, which it looks like it is getting close to doing. It just has to empty this chest, and then we're going to tear everything out and build a new one up top. Well, that chest did indeed empty out. I've also gone ahead and scrapped the entire farm for parts so that we can start building the new one, and now all I have to do is actually decide where I want to build it, because, like I said earlier, I don't want to build it down here. I want to build on the roof, just because having to go up and down this staircase every time is a little bit of a nuisance. Now, the only thing is that this one has only 6 piglins. The one that I plan on building up here has 24, so I want to build it a little bit closer to where they actually spawn, which is in Nether Wastes and Crimson Forests, but mostly Crimson Forests. And the only Crimson Forest that I really know of is right over here. And luckily, that's very close to the gold farm, so it'll be really easy to like bring the gold to the bartering system. So I'm going to probably put it like right here, make a little L right next to the gold farm storage system, just so it's all nice and in the same area. So I'm going to set up a spawning platform over there for the piglins, and let's get building. Well, I haven't even like started building the thing, but the spawning platform has already shown results, so I guess I'm going to go try and get these guys. I've never used this method before, but I'm going to try and catch them in boats. So once they go after me, you just place the boat, then you try and get them to run into it. That works. Okay, sick. There are ones that have crossbows that might be a little bit harder, but we're just going to name tag those two, and then kill the child. Okay, and of course, the hoglins are actually kind of a threat, only because the piglins will get mad at the hoglins and try and kill them, but hoglins tend to win that when there's not an excessive amount of piglins. One more shot? Okay, no, we're good. And now you get in boat. Thank you. Have name tag. I should probably maybe, like, get gold boots, just so they stop attacking me when I want them to stop attacking me, because I have my Piglin Don't Hurt Me boots that we made in the last episode, so I guess I will actually use those. So now we have like 3 of them, and they are persistent because they're name tags, so they shouldn't count towards the mob cap, and more will spawn, hopefully. Anyway, let's get back to actually building this, and maybe I can make some progress before more piglins spawn. Nope, no I cannot. It's been less than 5 seconds, and there are already more. Well, I guess I'll get the 24 first, and then I'll start building the farm, because it's not going to take too long to build it. It's a pretty small thing. Well, I found a couple more piglins, and also, the main core of the bartering system is done. This is just an ugly temporary staircase, but it's quite, compact. It's a lot smaller than my old one. Pretty much the piglins sit in that hole, they get gold from this dropper, and the slime block on a piston there just kind of pushes the items out, and then they get pushed along the ice path to get sorted. And I've also noticed a kind of flaw in the way I'm getting piglins, which is hoglins also spawn here, and they will kill the piglins in the boats that can't do anything because they're in boats. So that's happened a couple times at this point, and I need to be more careful of it. But now I can actually at least... You did nothing! You don't deserve a victory dance. Either way, it's ready to try and put a piglin in, so I'm going to try. The idea is we take off the gold boots. Oh, this is not a good one to start with, is it? He has a crossbow. We want one that has a sword to start with, because the sword guys will follow me a lot better. He killed himself. Sick. Okay, I guess, is this a boat of double swords? It is. Cool. So, what we're going to do, break them out of the boat, run up the staircase, and what's going to happen is if we go up here and don't die... So, in theory, what's going to happen is I'm going to break the boat, get up here in a better way than the way I just did it, which is opening that thing, and then what they will do is they'll think they can do the same thing as me, hopefully, and they will run up here and fall into the hole. That's the goal. We're going to see if it works. I kind of want to do it with 1, but I guess I'm trying it with 2. So, let me get my axe so I can break the boat more effectively, and turn on hitboxes so I make sure to not hit them. And let's go. So we break that, and then we turn off hitboxes because it's ugly, and we take off the boots. Oh, Jesus, why am I doing this at 1 heart? Okay, so doing this at 1 heart was a mistake, but we land here. Come on. And we stand far enough back that they cannot possibly hit me. That's 1. That's 2. The second one was a little more resistant, but it worked. Oh! That's another issue. Let me just put an extra block there. There we go. They're getting pushed by a slime block that gets the items out, but they can't actually jump off of that, which is obviously kind of a problem. The idea is I'm just going to close this, never mind. So I have to put a block there eventually, but for now I can just make it so they can't jump out with that one, and make the entire staircase just 1 block taller, so that they can still get up. Okay, well I would say that worked very well, and now it's time to get more. And that is the last one. There are now 24. If I added another one, they would that's crossbows. Hi. If I added another one, they would start to entity cram, which is why that's the maximum. So now, all I have to do is put the storage system in, and then we can actually start to test this thing. Well, it's kind of just a very large wall of chests with some filters behind it, but it's done. I put all the filter items in, got all the chests in. The only thing that I haven't done is put item frames on the chest to like signify what is where, and that's because this thing actually produces leather, so I've decided to use that as an excuse to be lazy and do that after I start testing it. So now it should be functionally complete. All I have to do is put in some gold, And this thing should make short work of 9 stacks of gold. So let's see if it does. There's 24 piglins in there. There's lots of room for items to go. This should work. Let's put that in. And after like 6 to 8 seconds, items will start coming out, I think. Yeah. Yeah. And that gets collected. Sick. Oh, this looks so cool. Okay. I think it's working. I don't see anything but water balls going to the bulk. Really? Looks pretty good. I'm gonna let this run for a little bit. And that's all the gold used up, so we should see the last couple of items going in here. And that looks like it is about it. There we go. So it seems to have worked. The one thing that I was mostly worried about was gravel. It doesn't appear to have filled up too much, but really we have to see how many items we got for that. Got, you know, some black stone, that's good. Then we got crying obsidian, not even a stack, which makes sense for that one. Ender pearls, then we have fire charges, lots of gravel. Gravel, I think, is the #1 biggest thing. Iron nuggets, leather, like I said earlier, got nether bricks, so much good stuff. Most importantly, I need to check these chests to make sure none of that got through. So that's not good. Obviously, we want this to be filtered properly and not do that. So that looks like the thing is, I don't think there's blackstone in this. We're gonna say that is a fluke. Okay, yeah, we're gonna say that's a fluke. The spectral arrows might not have been a fluke, which is a little worrying, but the blackstone, I think, could very possibly be a fluke, because this is the blackstone filter, so I'm going to slow this very slightly to see if that helps at all, because I think it might. Oh, never mind, it's actually already at maximum slowness. It'll be fine. Like I said, I think that's a fluke, so I think I'm going to set up a hopper input system to this and do more extensive testing while I put some item frames down. You know, some people would say that filling an entire double chest of gold is not the best second ever test of a farm, but I have to beg to differ with that one because this is obviously a perfectly acceptable test that I will totally be able to reasonably stop if things go horribly wrong. Yeah, we already have blackstone going in. Like, I haven't even found where the leather is deposited yet, and we have blackstone going in the wrong chest. I guess I should double check that both of these are in fact blackstone filters. They are. Okay, so it looks like we just get such an absurd amount of blackstone that it can't keep up. So, yeah, that's a problem. I don't really know how to fix that problem. That's kind of just a problem. Yeah. I guess I could add another thing of blackstone, but that kind of involves moving the entire thing over one and having just like one less thing of chests. But that is kind of the only option, so maybe I should stop the farm before it puts too many items into chests. I just noticed I don't know how to stop this thing. This is probably something I should have like thought of, but why would I ever have to stop a farm? I never tried filters in creative mode. Okay, if we just like replace this button with a lever and we do that, that should stop the farm. And now we can go ahead and add another blackstone filter because it apparently needs it. And then the arrows, oh, gravel. Okay, we're adding another blackstone filter and another gravel filter. And I feel like soul sand could be a problem as well, but I'm not so sure about that one. If I can find the soul sand thing. It doesn't even have stuff in the second chest. Okay, so I think we're fine there. I'm just going to add another blackstone one and another gravel one, and we'll see if that's enough, but I think it will be. Okay, I did it. We now have an extra column for blackstone, gravel, and also spectral arrows, because I found some more, so it's like in the bulk storage, so it's probably not just a fluke. Hopefully, that should actually come to the speed at which this thing produces stuff, and we should be able to turn it back on, hopefully. I also added these item frames. I have yet to rename the items, which is why I haven't made them invisible yet, so I have to do that. but I see no harm in letting this thing run while I do that. You know, assuming it works, and I can also access the lever. There, it's gonna start shooting items at me. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go sit over here actually and watch for a couple seconds to make sure that no bad stuff comes into the bulk section. Well, that's unfortunate. There is blackstone in the bulk set. It's one though. I think, I don't care about one enough that I'm going to give blackstone a whole nother column of chests. I think that is legitimately enough of an outlier that I am not going to give blackstone another column, because if it is overflowing 3 filters, I do not need more blackstone than that. So, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. You can't make me. But it does look like gravel and spectral arrows are behaving now, because I haven't seen any come through. Only that one singular piece of blackstone. So I think we're pretty much good, and I'm gonna check how much of the stuff this thing has actually worked its way through, because I bet... Yeah, this double chest was full. This thing goes quite fast. Well, I mean, to be fair, it has, like, that, and, like, some of the hoppers are full, but, whatever. And now that all these things are on invisible item frames, the farm is officially finished. I probably don't need item frames here because I had netherite hose in, like, the last one. I don't have that many netherite hose now, so I'm just not gonna put stuff in those. Don't exist. You can't make me fix it. Although, iron nuggets being in here is very slightly worrying. Because that one is one that only has 2. I'm still not fixing it. No, I refuse. I don't care that much. And with that done, I was actually going to work on one more thing this episode, but as we are already almost 30 minutes in, that's not going to happen until the next one. So for now, like if you liked, subscribe if you feel like it. Have a great day. As always, bye-bye.